ArtSpark Texas presents Drawing with Feeling with Dr. Marsha Nelson.
Well, welcome everyone. I am your presenter, Dr. Marsha Nelson, and I am excited that we have today some fun activities to do. Thanks for joining me. What we're going to talk about today is drawing with feeling. Don't we always draw with feeling? Well, let's find out. So a little bit about me. I am the co-founder of a program called Creative Journal Expressive Arts. Dr. Lucia Capicchione and I, in 1997, decided to put her work out into the world in the form of a certification training program. And right now we have people in 25 countries worldwide who are trained to do these methods, the Creative Journal Expressive Arts. Dr. Capicchione, whom many of you have probably read her books, she has 23 books on creativity, on visioning, and on emotional literacy. Wonderful work. And I hope that you go to Lucia, LUCIAC.com to learn more about these methods. So today the purpose is to release stored feelings in the language of art. Now we all store our feelings, right? We just gulp it down or we just pass over, and we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings and we don't want to go over it again, whatever it is. So what we do is we just internalize it. So how we're going to let these feelings go, and I'm going to show you our brain. Now this is the Roger Sperry 1981 Nobel Science Prize winning information. He and his team from Caltech declared each hemisphere had its own job. Now you may know different theories. This is the theory that we're working on today, all right? So in Roger Sperry's work, he said that there was the right hemisphere, which was about wholeness, timelessness, in the moment, feeling, tone, expression, music, artistry, visual creativity, emotion, arrangement, body connection, dreaming, rhythm, intuition, problem solving, and spirituality. So whenever you're having one of those activities going on in your life, you're tapping into the right hemisphere of your brain. So you know when you're born, think about a baby. They just look at the whole picture, right? Timelessness. If a baby's playing with your phone, that's it. That's the whole life. But if you take that phone away, what does the baby do? Well, it cries, because it's everything. That's all it's concerned about, is just what it's looking at right now. But what if you trade the baby an item and you take away the phone? Then this becomes its whole world, okay? So that's what they call wholeness, staying in the right hemisphere of the brain. The other thing about a baby, it's timeless. It doesn't know, oh, it's 6 o'clock, time for my bath or eat or what have you. All it knows is my stomach hurts, I'm hungry. My eyes are tired, I want to go to sleep. So timelessness, right hemisphere of the brain, there's no time. Many of you have done art and some fun projects in your life, and it's like, whoa, where'd the time go? Well, that means you're in the right hemisphere of your brain, because when you're enjoying whatever you're doing, you go into the right hemisphere of your brain. It's also about feeling, music, art, and this is what ArtSpark Texas. So this whole conference is based on right brain activities. Places that you can get in touch with your emotions, as you see emotions, your creativity, your body connection, because when you are really stuffing those feelings, sometimes you get headaches, sometimes you get stomach aches, sometimes you get back aches. There's a lot of places that your body will go, wow, wow, wow. You know, you got a feeling that you're not resolving. Now, Dr. Capicchione has a wonderful book out, and it's called, Hello, This is Your Body Talking. This is all about storing emotions and allowing those emotions to come up, to deal with them, to journal with them, to draw about them, and let them go. Now let's move on to the left hemisphere. I call this the school brain, all right? Because when you go to school, and you're probably started at 3 or 4 years old, you're already developing the left hemisphere. Ordering, Now that could be ordering a McDonald's or a Happy Meal, but it could be putting things in order. Okay. It's also about reading and time-based. Now we're telling time in kindergarten, aren't we? Oh, it's 6 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock, time for school. We're learning about time. It's also about speech. So when a child begins to talk, it is developing the left hemisphere of the brain. Writing, math, reasoning, goal-oriented, sounds like school, right? All of these activities down the way, analysis, rational sequence, logic, numbering, categorizing linear thought. We need these in our life. And the stronger we are in these subjects, probably the more educated we are, because that's where education takes off. But also, to be the best human being you could be, we want to find balance. That's what Art Spark Texas is all about. Finding balance, finding solutions through creative ways. So this is about the brain. We're going to be using the right hemisphere of the brain. And Dr. Capicchione, you can see her books along here. These are just some of the books. But I invite you to go to Amazon or wherever you buy your books, and you can look up her work. It's fascinating. You can also find out about her certification program. So what you need today are your colored markers, a pen. I like my trusty colored markers, always helpful. Because remember, where's the child? It's the right hemisphere, right? When you're a child, you're in that right hemisphere. So kids love color. It's also about pen. You can use your pen. And I love, love, love my trusty journal. I hope everyone invests. Create, dream, and discover. And what I love about this now, I just happened to find it over at the Barnes and Noble. But what I love about it has nice, thick, blank pages so that your artwork doesn't bleed through. So if you haven't invested in a journal, please do. And I like the nice big 8.5 by 11, the larger pieces. I also like it has a binding that can fold back. I can take it on the plane with me when I travel to do workshops. I always take my journal and my markers, and I can journal on the plane. We can do our work. We call this portrait, like picture, or landscape. So you can turn your journal either way. I love this work because there's no right or wrong. Whatever comes up for you in this work, great. It's just what you need for the day. So if there's a little voice in your head that comes in and says, oh, this isn't right, I want you to send that voice outside. You know, we call that voice in this work your inner critic. Always there to keep you safe. Now, you needed your parents to tell you not to run across the street or not to touch the hot stove. And that was good for your safety. But guess what? You're adults now. And so you don't need to have that voice morph into a voice that's now criticizing you. You are doing your own criticizing. So we just need some colored markers, pens, papers, unlined. Always use unlined paper, because why? The inner critic can come in and say, oh, you went over the line, you went under the line. So let it be. Now, in our work that we were just talking about, I want you to know that this is important, that when we are using our dominant hand, you see writing in here? See where writing is right here? Whatever hand you began writing with as a child, you tapped into the left hemisphere of your brain. Now, I'm left-handed, so my brain picked up the left hand. All right? My left hand went into my left brain. Most of you are right-handed, and your handedness goes into the left hemisphere of the brain. That's really important for you to know in this work. When you are using your dominant hand, you're tapping into all of this left brain activity. In our work, we use the right hemisphere, we use the non-dominant hand. Okay, you see I'm handing up my right hand, because that's my non-dominant hand. Most of you, it would be the left. I'm right hand non-dominant. So that will get into our emotions. You see the emotions. It'll get into our creativity. And it certainly is about expressing ourselves. And it's about artistry. So, and the most important for me is the intuition, that God-given gift that you have, you know what your own answers are. And it's certainly important for problem solving and your spirituality, your higher power, whatever that is, the force. For me, it's God. For everyone, it may be different. Okay, so I just want you to be really clear on when we're using what hand, where we're moving into. So again, the left brain is your dominant hand, your non-dominant is into the right hemisphere. So here is the object of our activity today. We're going to identify a current challenge or problem, and I want you to picture the solution to the challenge or the problem. So let's just sit quietly right now. Let's just close our eyes and let's breathe in, inhale through our nose, hold it, and exhale. One more time. Let's inhale through our nose, exhale through our mouth. This time, I want you to bring in all of the oxygen, and I want you to clear your mind of any thought, and I want you to exhale that carbon dioxide with all of that problem. Inhale and exhale. All right, here's what we're going to do. Activity number 1, we always date the first page of our journaling. Today is 11/20/21. With our non-dominant hand, that hand you normally don't write with, if you have your markers, great. I want you to reach into your markers, or better yet, put all your markers out on your table or your desk, and you choose a color with a non-dominant hand that you would like to use to represent a problem or a situation in your life right now. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a picture. Now, this doesn't have to look like any Van Gogh. This is just a picture, a scribble of a problem situation in your life right now. This can be abstract. It can be a cartoon or a simple depiction. Stick figures work for me. I'm not an artist. Gingerbread people are perfect. So let's have at it. Non-dominant hand. We are going to create a problem or situation in our life right now. Please, Dan. Okay, so go ahead, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this. And if there's anybody or anything with a non-dominant hand, please identify it, write their name. You can do a bubble. Please identify whatever the situation is. Maybe you title it my relationship, my career, what have you. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so next part of this is that you are going to talk to your drawing. You've seen a problem or a situation. Now what you're going to do is you're going to use both your dominant hand and your non-dominant hand. And what I would like for you to do is to let the problem talk to you. So with the dominant hand, you can give it a name. Maybe you already do with your non-dominant, that's great. But give the problem a name, my relationship, my family, my job, however that could be, your health. And the next part, I want you to have a conversation with this. And with the dominant hand, you're going to write the following questions. Dominant hand, question number 1. Who or what are you? You're going to ask that question with the dominant hand. So just write the question with your regular hand, okay? And then you're going to answer with, and I am using the initials NDH, standing for non-dominant hand. So you're going to ask the problem, who or what are you? So I like to write with the dominant hand, who or what are you? And how I would answer it would be, what I am or who I am is. Because when you're writing with a non-dominant hand, you want to go through that corpus callosum, the connective tissue between the 2 hemispheres, and it will allow you to access the information. Okay? Dominant hand, question number 2. You notice we just write and answer each question one at a time. How do you feel? So you're asking the question how it feels. Sounds silly, right? But it works. Okay, question number 4. What do you have to tell me? Those are our 4 basic questions. I hope that you memorize these. I hope that you use these in your daily life. These questions will always give you the answer from your right hemisphere of your brain, where your intuition. You know, no one knows you as well as you know yourself. We know, we just sometimes don't want to act on our own knowledge. So I want you to know that this is a fabulous way for you to get to know yourself. We are drawing with feeling. We're understanding the emotional intelligence, and the emotional intelligence is your ability to connect with your emotions and understand them like nothing else. So the last question, dominant hand, question number 5, optional. This is the most important, is what can I learn from this experience? Because remember, life is all about experiences. If we learn from whatever we go through in life, great. We don't have to replay the script again. If we ignore it, it's going to show up somewhere else in our life. We're going to have to deal with it again. All right. So just nip it in the bud, take care of it now, and you can move on to the next situation of your life, because we're always going to have plenty to deal with. Well, I hope that you attend my conference activities. If you have an opportunity, you want to learn more, you can also go to the Art Spark Texas website, and you can find this recorded complete workshop there. Thank you for the opportunity, for allowing me to share the Creative Journal Expressive Arts activities. I wish you well and happy journaling. Thank you.
Funding provided by National Endowment for the Arts Creative Forces.